Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the sheer pressure, the tactical chess match, and the ultimate 2-1 knockout victory for Norway over Côte d'Ivoire in the 2026 World Cup Round of 32. If you want to understand exactly how this incredible high-stakes drama played out on the pitch, you are absolutely in the right place.
Absolutely sensational goal. Creativity. Call it what you like. Man, that was the commentators' ecstatic reaction, and honestly, they hit the nail on the head. We're going to rewind the clock today and look at exactly how this thrilling do-or-die match actually unfolded.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, cautious starts and early pressure.
Right out of the gate, we saw a massive contrast in playstyles. On one side, Côte d'Ivoire brought this sheer, relentless pressure. They were aggressively pushing players forward on the overlap. Guys like Pepe and Conan were just flying down the wings. Meanwhile, Norway, they played a totally different game. They set up with this incredibly patient, waiting approach, just biding their time and looking for that one perfect delivery.
And that intense, positive work from Côte d'Ivoire really paid off early on. It forced some genuine defensive hesitations. You had players like Musa and Martin second-guessing themselves at the back under all that sheer pressure. For a minute there, it felt like Norway were just spectators, and Côte d'Ivoire came dangerously close to snatching an early lead.
Moving right along to Section 2, breaking the deadlock and momentum swings. Because in a World Cup knockout game, if you don't capitalize on your early pressure, things can flip in a heartbeat. Norway completely shook off that initial spectator status. They stepped up right before halftime with some absolutely fabulous deliveries. We saw Soar stand up a phenomenal header, and then, boom, a truly beautiful, beautiful strike. They snatched a crucial lead, right when it stung the most.
So, with that massive momentum shift happening right before the break, you really have to wonder, how does a team adjust? How did Côte d'Ivoire plan to survive this sudden do-or-die scenario after dominating those early minutes? Looking back at how this first half played out, it's pretty wild. You go from a very cautious start straight into Côte d'Ivoire's sheer pressure, and then Norway turns it all around to take the lead approaching halftime. It just goes to show how quickly Norway managed to turn a hesitant opening into a vital advantage when the stakes were literally at their highest.
All right, let's jump into Section 3, second half sensations and box chaos.
Coming out of the locker room, Norway immediately kept the heat on. Martin steps up and delivers this absolutely perfect pinpoint corner. The ball finds Nusa, who shoots just a bit too high, and what happens next is pure panic. The ball violently bounces around between attackers and defenders in the box. Honestly, any slight deflection there could have completely changed the complexion of the game.
But hey, Côte d'Ivoire flat out refused to back down. They weathered the storm, pushed forward, and we got to witness a truly lovely touch and a lovely take from Pepe right inside the danger area. It was a flash of brilliant technical control as they frantically hunted for that equalizer.
Brilliant little give and go, and then he kept going all the way. That quote right there perfectly captures the sheer creativity we were seeing on the pitch. Both of these teams were trading these sensational passing sequences, just desperately trying to pry open the opposing defenses. It was an absolute masterclass in technical football.
Which brings us to our final act, Section 4, Haaland and the final whistle. Matches of this magnitude are usually decided by superstars stepping up. Clinging to a super fragile lead against a relentless Côte d'Ivoire attack, Norway desperately needed one definitive strike to put this match to bed. So, how would they actually seal the deal?
Well, you don't have to smash it when the setup is this perfect. Bob drifts in and delivers an absolutely lovely ball, completely bypassing the defense. It finds Erling Haaland waiting at the far post, and he just effortlessly rolls it right into an empty net. Simple, clinical, and absolutely devastating.
That critical second goal was a real game changer. Making it 2-0 gave Norway the breathing room they so desperately needed, especially considering the absolute chaos that was about to unfold in the final moments of the game.
Because Côte d'Ivoire threw literally everything they had forward. Conan whips in this incredibly awkward cross, sparking a frantic, desperate battle inside the penalty area. They managed to claw a late goal back, and then, right at the death, it required an absolutely wonderful, brilliant save from the Norwegian keeper just to maintain that fragile lead.
Talk about a nail-biter. It was a really tight contest that went right down to the wire. Norway somehow survived that late onslaught to secure a hard-fought, wildly entertaining 2-1 victory.
So, with this tight 2-1 victory in the bag, you've got to ask, how far can Norway actually go? They've survived a massive test against a relentless opponent.
But looking ahead to the rest of the 2026 World Cup, do they have the stamina and the defensive firepower to win the whole shebang? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes peeled as the rest of the tournament unfolds.